What's up, future corpses? Zave here, back with another series of images played in rapid succession to present the illusion of movement. And today we are going to be looking at Rome, Total War. Specifically a replay of the battle I streamed just the other day. I'm going to show you guys how not to do it, alright? So here we go. This game is between me, the Romans, House of Brutii, and the Macedonians, played by PB, I think his name is? I think it's just PB, the letters PB, and then a period. But anyway, that doesn't matter. So as I said, I was streaming this, so I was only half paying attention the entire time because this was in fact a test stream. I had never successfully streamed a game before, and I was stressing out trying to make sure everything was working just right. But as a result, you're going to notice, especially early on, a lot of just not doing anything, long pauses, and even after I finished deploying, I still had to wait for him, but the battle does actually take a while to start, because I'm just not paying much attention. I'm messaging Daniel, because he's telling me if the stream's up and if it's working from his perspective. But anyway, so that's one reason why I underperformed here. The other reason is because I suck. But that's okay, because it's not about being good. It's about having fun. That's what my father told me before he left. But yeah, so let me show you my army real quick. I've got 2 triarii on the flanks here, and then I've got Urbans to hold the line against the pikemen. I knew, because it's the Seleucids, that there's going to be a bunch of pikemen. So I anticipated it, and got a bunch of heavy cavalry, a few Roman cavalry units, and a bunch of Praetorian cavalry. Then I've got 2 units of archers to pick off these pikemen from various angles. General, of course, and then I've got I actually anticipated that he would have some heavy cavalry of his own, so I brought these war dogs to, if not wear them down, hold them off and distract them. But, as luck would have it, I suppose he invested all his money in pikemen, and then only had enough left over for some light cavalry? Either that or he just made a poor choice, because instead of fielding a few units of heavy cavalry, which would have actually presented a challenge, because they could effectively protect the pikemen against my cavalry. Instead, he fielded a bunch of light cavalry, maybe not anticipating how much heavy cavalry I was going to have. But either way, this was his biggest mistake, easily. So as soon as the battle begins, he immediately repositions so he can take me head on. And then I am content to stay where I am and leave my front line here while I start moving my cavalry around. Because once I see that light cavalry, I'm pretty much watering at the mouth, because I really want to just wipe them out, because I know I can. But anyway, while this is happening, and I'm getting super hyped for an easy victory, I fail to notice a legion of elephants sitting right outside my left flank. And this is going to be the biggest mistake I make in this game. Both sides are, thankfully we were on about the same level, but he is slightly worse at micro than I am, I think. And that's basically what gives me the edge in this battle. So he starts moving his cavalry around, and I wait to see what he does. But yeah, right now he's in a defensive position, what would be a really strong defensive position, were it not for the lack of substantial defense for his flanks and rear. Granted, it does take me a while to break through because of the legionaries, but the light cavalry are going to go pretty quick. Meanwhile, I'm literally just spotting the elephants because I hear the horn, and I look over here and I say, oh my god, where did those elephants come from? So what's going to happen now is I'm going to frantically send my spearmen over as soon as I see them. Oh yeah, that's right, I deploy my war dogs first in the hopes of slowing them down at least. Something to hold their attention while I bring up my spearmen. Yeah, I moved my cavalry out of there as soon as possible, but they're getting picked off by the archers on the elephants. But anyway, that doesn't matter because these light cavalry are going to hit my heavy cavalry, get flanked, and then fall apart very, very quickly. Oh yes, and I also send my other unit of war dogs over here, and they break to that immediately. So they're just going to chase him right off the map there. And then I'm too busy. I get too busy micromanaging my cavalry over here, trying to, you know, wittily outflank them and all that. To notice my entire front line, including my general, is being skewered by elephants. My Triarii are, of course, rushing forward to handle it, but even they may not be enough. But yeah, this whole situation over here is a fucking tragedy. It's a fucking mess. But yeah, my Triarii come in the hopes of saving the day, and get flung up in the air for their trouble. Meanwhile, my entire attention is over here, trying to outwit his cavalry here. I'm focusing all my energy on micromanaging and eliminating the threat over here. I'm not very good at multitasking, so the elephants completely threw a hitch in my plans, because my entire plan was to throw my front line at his pikemen, and then micromanage my cavalry and focus all my attention on flanking them. But yeah, this is where his money went. That's why he had light cavalry. Thanks to my Triarii and archers, I do take care of the elephants. Well, that and, you know, the hundreds of urban cohorts that ended up being sacrificed. I am able to actually handle the elephants, but not without massive losses. But anyway, so I'm still over here. The cavalry are pretty much taken care of at this point. The elephants are being routed, except for these. I guess they regrouped. Oh yeah, that's right. I believe these guys they rout until they start running amok, which is going to happen in a minute or two. The last of the Greek cavalry is getting chased off and run down by the war dogs, which is just beautiful to see. It makes me very happy. But anyway, so I finally broke through past the cavalry into the Silver Shield Legionaries. Well, anyway. But yeah, I'm handling them pretty well. But then one unit breaks, and I say, I better pull out. Before that causes a chain reaction. So I regroup my forces, I bring my urbans down. I still have a full strength urban unit, so. Or well, one full strength and one almost full strength. But yeah, his Silver Shield pikemen are basically maintaining their positions with 2 units kind of readjusting to account for the cavalry that's trying to hit them from the rear. And my urbans are going to pin down the Silver Shield Legionaries. In fact, I thought they would wipe them out, but apparently the damage and tiredness done to them wore them down, so they were less effective here. And then, of course, the pikemen are coming in, so I tried to take my cavalry and handle the Silver Shield Legionaries. So I can turn around. So the pikemen are rushing in. Of course, they're going to bring down their spears because my opponent is not a moron. Meanwhile, my archers are kind of... they're not in the best position. But I kind of didn't use my archers properly in this battle because I focused all my attention, even after my entire front line was like decimated. I kept focusing my attention on the cavalry and trying to break through their flanks and rear. Like here this actually makes sense because I'm cycle charging in order to take care of the general. Unfortunately, it doesn't go quite like I would like it to. I do eventually kill him, but I have to take quite a few casualties first. So I'm pulling my horses back to regroup with the other horses that are coming in from, I think they were chasing somebody down. And that general's gonna be dead in a minute. Meanwhile, the pikemen are just shredding what's left of my front line. There is nothing left. It is a matter of minutes before they break through and start going after my archers. So I have to do something about that.
This is no way for a leader to behave, but in battle, it's beyond belief.
The Seleucids are pretty much done with, because at this point I've got a bunch of heavy cavalry. Not as much as I did have, a lot of damaged units, but I have the heavy cavalry advantage. He has no cavalry left. I have archers. He has no ranged at all. And the elephants got...
Your general now lies dead because of his foolishness.
And then they took my general down, which was unfortunate because I wasn't paying attention at all. I'm not even sure where my general was at the time. Where did I put him? But anyway, long story short, I sustain a few more casualties, and by a few I mean a few hundred more, and I accidentally charged my cavalry straight into a wall of spears a few times. But eventually the Silver Shield Legionaries break, and then after that, the pikemen finally break. Inevitably. Though obviously I could have done it with a lot fewer casualties if I was paying attention and if I was good. But yeah, up to this point he's been moving his pikemen around with their spears down, hoping to catch me off guard. But here he's just finally just charging in whatever he has to whatever I have and hoping to get as many casualties on me as he can. Because he probably realizes at this point, hey, I'm pretty much fucked. He has the cavalry advantage, the archer advantage, so I gotta do something. And as you can see, I repeatedly run my cavalry straight into a wall of spears. Like a moron. That time it was just because I couldn't pull out in time. Like I realized what was happening but they didn't respond fast enough. It's basically my fault. So he comes down here with his last couple units of pikemen and forms a double-ended phalanx in the hopes that I'll run straight into it. Because he probably notices my habit of doing that. So So I'm just going to pick him off with my archers for a while. And then he starts repositioning, realizing what's going on. Meanwhile, my cavalry over here are leisurely strolling up, waiting for the time to strike. He hopes to catch this unit of Roman cavalry off guard and charges his pikemen in, but I'm paying attention. Like I said, I have slightly better micro than him, so I pull out, and then I bring in this unit. And I cycle charge him for a little while. Try to pin him down with my war dogs. And one unit of pikemen is routed. And the other one's wavering, and one more charge should do it. Again, straight in there. Any minute now. And done.
Worthy of Rome and her armies. Our soldiers have done well.
This is an example of how not to win a battle. You do not want to cut it that close when the enemy makes that many huge key mistakes. And I'll see you next time when I have my soldiers throw their weapons onto the ground and cry.